The Square Ball Podcast.
Welcome. Will's Probate Conveyancing. Michael Normanson.
Yeah, that's correct.
Straight in with both feet.
It's not how you normally start it, but yeah, Square Ball Podcast this, but it is sponsored by Levi Solicitors.
Yeah, welcome to the show. Dan Moylan here. Michael Normanson. Dean Smith, as we do another summer edition in a show that is indeed brought to you in association with Levi Solicitors, who will offer you a 10% discount on your legal fees. levisolicitors.co.uk/the square ball. Mention Will's Probate Conveyancing. They've been chalked off the list.
Lovely.
Go on. What else?
Lasting powers of attorney.
Well done.
Got the website open on it, just in case. That.
Definitely improving for the new season, aren't you? New season is not far off now. 5 days to go, something like that, at the time of recording. We are recording on Wednesday. This will probably come out on Thursday, just for timing purposes, because Michael has saw fit to have time off.
See you later.
Going to see some golf.
Summer, innit?
So going to see some golf, aren't you?
Summer, innit? Yeah. We'll get away from Leeds United for a bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that'd be nice. Or it'll be cold, because it's in Scotland, but we'll see.
Glen Kamara came from Scotland.
Yeah, good link.
See that?
Excellent.
Seamless. Going off now to France.
To which club?
He's still Finnish.
Yes, he is. Which club has he joined?
Stade Rennais.
I knew you'd say it like that.
You have to, don't you?
I knew I could rely on you.
It's because Moscow polluted my brain for years.
And also, you Hello fans. Yeah. Anyone of a certain age who grew up watching Hello knows it should be pronounced Rennais.
Did you think it was good of the club to allow Glen Kamara to announce his own departure on Instagram? That was very generous of them.
Yeah, I think maybe there was a little bit of miscommunication there, but it was a nice message. There were some nice photos.
Yep.
He looked very disappointed in all of the photos because you couldn't really see him in the scramble around Gruev after the goal against Norwich. But the photo of him just stood looking contemplative, didn't look very happy. And then we all know that what the crowd photo was from Wembley. So it didn't ring true with his statement of wishing all the best. It's like, I've left you exactly where I found you, and I'll see you later.
He looks equally moody on his signing photo, though, doesn't he, when he's sat on that
Well, it's just his vibe.
chair with flags?
Brooding. Wouldn't you like to be brooding?
I'm not sure I've got it in me.
Try brooding for me now. If you're on the video version, Michael's about to brood. Did that look broody to you?
It did. I'm just distracted how bad this is for people listening, but I mean, we can describe it.
Yeah.
It sounded brooding as well. I think that was the thing.
It looked like a man who'd had a stroke. Is that
a small one, yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, Glen Kamara. It's a strange one, isn't it? Like, how will we remember him is the note that I've jotted down in front of me. I don't know if we will.
I think we will. I will remember him very fondly for twisting and turning and getting out of small spaces, popping little pass off left and right. I think we'll miss him. I'm getting to the point now where I'm a little bit concerned about all the outgoings, and I know we move in silence with the 49ers and signings just seem to appear, but we do need a lot of work from this point, I would say, until that first game against Portsmouth.
Yeah, I mean, he played pretty much every game last season, so to just get rid of him from the middle of the pitch feels risky, I would say. It's hard to say that we're certainly not irreplaceable, is he? I think that's the thing with him.
That's what I mean.
Because he was just a very solid 6-7 out of 10 tidy midfielder, could generally hold possession, could do the short passing stuff that Farke wanted him to do, was frustratingly awful when we were attacking, to be fair. Like, there were bits where you thought, just run into that space now, or just have a shot from here, and it was not ever really his game, but I think that is fine. It's kind of all right to have that, as long as there are other players doing it. But yeah, I think we'll miss him.
I do on the one hand, because like you say, he was quite tidy in possession, looked after the ball well. But then again, he didn't really offer much outside of that, did he? And it's exactly what you were talking about. I think one of the problems we had last year, and do you agree, was breaking the lines and facing a lot of teams who sat deep, the low block, as the cool kids would call it these days, camped on the edge of their area. And we spent a lot of time just passing it around in front of them, trying to find a way, and it'd go wide, and you'd hope that a wide man would maybe try and run past somebody, be it Somerville, Dan James, or whoever. And there was very little cut and thrust from midfield because of the nature of all the players. And while Glen Kamara, I think, is a perfectly good footballer, he didn't really offer anything in terms of breaking the lines, did he? Like passing it through the lines. And for all, people have got concerns about Aronson, he will certainly try and pick up the ball and run through the lines and run at people, possibly fall over. Hopefully not this time. look at Joe Rothwell as well, who we haven't yet actually probably spoken about on this show. He looks to be the sort of player who will pick it up and try and beat people and push a team back and do it quicker. Whereas I think we were possibly guilty, were we, of just passing it around a little bit too much, a little bit too slowly at times last season.
Very possibly, but in defence of Glen Kamara, and I don't know why I'm choosing this hill to die on, he, in that team when we had a lot of possession and we've often faced teams who wanted to sit back and press at various moments of the game, he was always good as an option to feed the ball into. He would twist, he would turn, he would do that really cool, like fast twitch muscle thing and get out of space and then find another pass.
I liked that, by the way. I want to say, to his credit, I did like that.
Because I think it number one, looked cool, looked like something I couldn't do. Because in my arrogance, I assume that I can do most of the things professional footballers can. But he would always be a safe bet to find the ball and then find another man. Yes, it was sideways, yes, it was backwards. But in this team, the way that Farke wants to play, retaining possession, finding the feet of players who can break the lines, I do think we'll miss him unless we have someone earmarked to use this profit, which we've made on him, to go and find that another number 8.
Yeah, on his better days, in good moments of the game, he could occasionally remind me of like Olivier Decour, for example, as someone who was happy to receive the ball in tight areas and would generally be able to take a nice first touch and wriggle away from people and make a pretty good pass. But then kind of didn't have the big tackles, and then he had David Batty's willingness to shoot. So between it all, it was occasionally frustrating, but I mean,
the other side to this is we need to remember we're in the Championship, and you're not going to get the complete number 8, are you, in the Championship? Because by definition, if they're complete, they'll be playing at a higher level. Sorry.
Yeah,
but
and
I suppose the comparison would be though someone like Matt Click, who we had in the Championship promotion season, and I think the season he played then was standout. You would take him out of that team and you would miss him instantly. Whereas with Kamara, I think we're looking, thinking, well, maybe we can improve on this. Now, maybe we can't, which is a risk. Maybe we end up 5 games into next season going, Jesus, I really wish we had him back.
There must be a plan, is the only thing that I can think of, because I can't see all of these outgoings being signed off and us to start the season with nobody in that central.
How long have you been a Leeds fan, Dave?
A good while, but I think the optimism that the 49ers will have a plan has to remain until they've proven otherwise. And I say that, and as I'm saying it, I realise that they've signed us up with Red Bull and sold Archie Gray all in the last couple of months.
Yeah.
So my concern is growing, but I'm hopeful that we won't miss him. But I think from what I was going to say before is that he feels like quite a modern central midfielder. So there are central midfielders of times gone by who can kind of do it all, or they're the big tackler, or they can score goals, they pick a pass. Whereas there are central midfielders around now who just twist and turn and keep the ball moving. Mm-hmm. And I think he was one of those. And if we can get one of those who also has a goal threat or a big tackle, then sound.
I mean, you say there must be a plan. It feels like there was a plan that didn't involve Glen Kamara last summer, potentially, because we were linked with him for about a month. And by the end, it was a bit like, fine.
I was going to say,
fine, Glenn, we will have you, because we failed to get anyone else.
The timing of that was late, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and because he'd been linked for ages, and it seemed like for weeks they were reporting like personal terms aren't going to be a problem here, the player's up for it, but it felt like we were just maybe hanging on, and there was
for somebody else,
maybe someone else.
Well, I think I gather that Hamer was willing to.
He's been a 10-2 as Glen Kamara, is what I'm saying.
Well, the lights are about to come on in the nightclub. You're just going to take whatever you can
Which
get.
is unfair because he's a beautiful man.
Yeah, he's got lovely features.
Flawless skin.
Very much so. No, I was going to say, you've distracted me with that thought now.
You're just thinking of Glen Kamara's skin.
You think of your nightclub. I thought you were thinking of your DJ days at
that. Well, yeah,
the lights coming on moment.
That's fighty o'clock, as well as it was. Yeah, no, we did. We signed him late, and he never felt like our first choice for that. I was going to say it was Hamer out of Coventry. I think we just weren't prepared to or couldn't match the fee that Coventry wanted. Sheffield United obviously went and got it done, but he was prepared to move. So I wonder if they were hanging on for him to see if they could get him through the door first. Didn't happen. So right, fine. We'll have you, Glenn. But yeah, it never felt like we particularly wanted him or he was the first choice.
And if we're being optimistic about this as an approach, they've gone, well, we can get him for not that much. He's an international, he's proven, so he'll do a job for a year. And if it goes wrong, we can probably sell him for an all right fee next year. There wasn't the big gamble feel of like an Aronson, for example, where you're bringing someone in for a massive amount of money with potentially a really high ceiling, but also you've maybe just stuck with him for years and years. And that's essentially how it's turned out, because it seems we have, as everything is these days, undisclosed, but it seems we have made a profit on him of somewhere between like £3 to £5 million, which is it's not bad as transfers turn out.
Given where we are with the whole PSR thing and all that fun stuff, fine. I mean, I'm never going to love it, but it is what it is, isn't it? I was just going to say, like, extending the conversation out to Joe Rothwell, who we've got on loan from Bournemouth, which kind of, because we signed him straight after we recorded an episode, we've never properly spoken about this. So we should probably do that now before the season starts. But to me, do you agree? Seems like a sensible, if not exciting, type of signing. As I mentioned before, looks like he can pick it up, run with it, maybe have a shot. Are we trying for more goals from midfield? But when you factor in kind of the way that we've brought in Kamara and then moved him out, and you've got Joe Rothwell in on loan from Bournemouth, I was trying to kind of sum up in my head how I felt about the way that we're approaching business in this division. And it almost feels like we're drafting in a load of agency workers to try and get promoted, and then we'll just bin them all off if and when we finally go up, which is possibly why it was harder last season to fall in love with some of it or them. I don't know.
Last year there were some new players came in like Kamara, but then also you're forgetting that in that cohort last year you also had like Ampadu and Joe Rodon, who was on loan, and we love those players, and they felt instantly like a major part of it. I guess some of the more peripheral ones maybe you didn't love, and some of the ones that were hung around had a lot to prove as well. And I include people like Somerville in that as well, who I always thought was very talented, but probably we had no right to expect as much as we got from him last year, I suppose. Like it was a big breakout year for him, wasn't it? So, but yeah, I know what you mean. It feels like we're building a team to get out of this division as opposed to a
transactional is the word we've used before.
Yeah, rather than one to, stick with us for 5 years and we'll grow with the club. They're probably hoping that the club outgrows the players fairly quickly, I guess.
Which I think taps into the idea of there not being too much romance around football at the minute. If we know that we're getting a player in for 46 games, hopefully it works and we end up in the Premier League, but then we bin them off to try and find that replacement. There's not much by way of interest that you can latch onto for a few years. So if it is, I think you're absolutely right, Dan, it's sensible, not exciting, because I feel like if the start of the season rolls around and Rothwell is our starting number 8, that will feel quite underwhelming. But if it works, great. It's a great business decision because we're not tied to big wages. You've seen Callum O'Hare go off to Sheffield United.
Yeah.
I think part of that decision might have been, from our point of view, if we are going to sign him, we're going to have to give him a few years on the contract. But are we confident that he will succeed in the Premier League? Probably not at this moment in time. That might come back and bite us in the arse. But I think this seems sensible yet underwhelming. But if he does well, performs well, gives us that little bit more cut and thrust in the middle of the midfield, then fabulous. Happy to eat the words. But I would like to see another, maybe 2 central midfielders come in just to bolster that area of the pitch, especially if Ampadu's going to be dropping back at some point.
It's like last January we were linked with Giles, weren't we, from Luton? But he was failing to get in Luton's team in the Premier League, and I think Hull got him on loan, but on the basis that if they went up, they would have to sign him permanently. And if that was the deal being offered to us, I guess if we looked at it and gone, well, if we go up, we're going to have to sell him. So not much point bringing him in, even though we do maybe want a left back in the short term. But I suppose keep with Kamara. If we're going to go back to drawing romantic parallels, because I know you're a big fan of his face, Dan. Kamara feels a little bit like that girlfriend, like a kind of an early 20s girlfriend. You've it's not really going to last. It's like
But you've had a nice time.
It's fine. It's been a pleasant year. We've had a couple of nice holidays, but you both sort of know it's going nowhere. It's been fine. It's been fine, hasn't it? There's no need for any dramas on the breakup for either side.
No acrimony.
But this has run its course, hasn't it? Let's face it.
She's gone off to college somewhere else to do another course, or whatever. Yeah,
it's fine, isn't it?
We'll just
it's fine.
We'll pretend that we'll carry on.
We're both moving in different directions now, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, you let it peter out. But I think that petering out process of I can't believe we're extending this metaphor. That petering out process is made easier for either party if there is something else you're moving on to. And so if there is work going on behind the scenes now, and we're going to get a lovely shiny new toy, a new girlfriend for Dan, a new lovely skin, then we can feel more hopeful, I think, about our I don't know how to extend this metaphor even further.
You don't have to.
All right, I'll drop it. I want us to sign another centre midfielder. I've said it.
Okay. I mean, Joe Rothwell's fairly big and handsome.
He's got, I like he's got a nice beard.
Well, I've not seen him without a beard, actually.
I think he's hiding something.
Bit of an unknown.
Yeah.
You think he's hiding something?
It's a bit of an unknown what's under there. I mean, I could probably just Google it. I'm just going to... I'll come back to you in a minute.
I was going to say, this is exciting for an audio meet.
He's in a scum shirt, of course he is.
Audio
he
meet.
looks awful, actually.
He's in a scum shirt?
Yeah, he played for them, didn't he? In the so that was his youth career. I'm not sure he ever played first team game for him.
There have been a couple of low key nibbles at us on social media across the years, like one for Bournemouth or something like that. That felt good, kind of thing, when they beat us. So yeah. But anyway, but obviously he couldn't wait to get here. As soon as he learned that Leeds were interested, you say yes to that and all that. So
well, because they
hate us because they ain't us.
Exactly. We're easy to hate. We're great to hate, but you want to be part of the club. So I quite liked his welcome interview where he said that the moment I heard Leeds United are interested, you jump at the chance, because that's the kind of thing that we as fans want to hear. We're needy, and he lent right into that.
I missed the days of everyone praising the facilities.
Right.
That was very League One, wasn't it? Where we were signing people from Northampton or whatever.
Oh, that empty swimming pool.
And they'd get to Leeds and they'd go, bloody hell, you've got AstroTurf. Yeah. That's nice, isn't it? Not just a park.
You've got running water and electricity.
Yeah, for a bit anyway. Don't get too used to that.
Listeria in the swimming pool or whatever it was that we got. Jayden Bogle seems to be reportedly keen on coming to Leeds. A year left on his contract at Sheffield United. There's talk around us not quite meeting their valuation yet. We've gone in at 3 million. They want 7. Do we settle somewhere in the middle? Who knows? Attacking right back.
Yes, seems sensible.
Yeah, this is around noise of like talk of Christensen heading off to, was it Eintracht Frankfurt have been rumoured.
How does he keep conning people?
Good agent.
He's a terrible, terrible footballer. Admittedly, I didn't see much of him last year other than...
I mean, Dean's got a terrible agent because he's sat here doing this.
Other than some clips that were shared. Why do I need an agent?
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Probably like a modelling agent.
Yeah.
That's what I'd go for. What we're talking about, Jayden Bogle.
We just caught you metaphorically gazing into the mirror there, didn't we?
It seems sensible. Yeah, I'm just trying to think if the height thing's going to be an issue.
Yeah,
and the age thing, and the face.
I mean, 5'8"'s fine.
Yeah.
It's not for Tom Cruise, so aim high.
That's true. Yeah. Right. Mission Impossible. I'll just make it out.
I was going to say Mission Impossible is a great name for your modelling career. Anyway, Jayden Bogle, we were talking about.
I think it would be a great move. I'm basing this purely on a couple of FIFA games ago. He got really good.
Okay.
And so I would sign him. And he's quick on FIFA. But no, we need cover. We definitely need cover in that position. Because also overnight, I saw some links with Firpo and Real Betis. And I think that if Firpo goes and if Christensen doesn't want to come back, I support Christensen not coming back. But I think we are going to be left very, very light across all fullback areas. And it just leads me to say what I said 10, 15 minutes ago on this show. It's getting to the point where I'm concerned because there needs to be a lot of business happen in not a long space of time. Mm-hmm. And then we end up in the situation that we did at the start of last season where it needs a month to settle in. And I just don't want that again. Yeah. Because that month was the difference between us going up promoted and us having to wallow around in London.
We were constantly chasing, weren't we, from that point onwards, barring that little tickle at the top that we had. And then it's because it's not sustainable to win every single game over a 46-game season. Although I think we should do that this coming season and probably will.
Sure.
Let's see how the squad looks.
But I agree with you. I think there is probably a plan there, but we're at that stage in the plan where you go, what's the plan then?
Yeah.
They just sign some players. But Bogle would be fine. Again, feels probably short-termish.
Yeah.
Get us up, give us a season in the Premier League.
Would retain some value.
Yeah, like a decent age, has got loads of experience at this level. Just seems...
Potential to maybe grow with the club and stay. If he doesn't quite cut the mustard, then you can move him on.
It feels sensible in the same ways like Roberts did last year. Just someone who is absolutely capable at this level.
Yeah, it is.
And has played above, admittedly, for a Sheffield United team who were relegated horrendously and conceded loads of goals. So I don't want to read... I'm going to focus on the Championship good bits as opposed to anything else at this stage.
Yeah, I was just going to say, sorry, it does tap into the same idea of like agency workers being drafted in, doesn't it? Like, we'll get you in for a bit, you get us up, we'll sort you out, give you a contract for a bit. Rumours about Willy Gnonto and Everton again.
Surely not.
And I've put on the sheet here, whatever. Yeah. That's how I feel about it all. I mean, he would have been out of here like a shot 12 months ago, given half a chance. You suspect that probably hasn't changed if he gets interest in a move. I mean, I think there's probably some irreparable damage in the relationship between the fans and Gnonto at that point. So if that cycle starts again, it's entirely to be expected, isn't it? Joe Donoghue of the YUP saying the club aren't actively looking to sell players after the Gray sale, so unless a team meets/exceeds their valuation of Gnonto, he'll be staying. And I suspect the same's true of all the players, although I still fully expect another big move out, probably Somerville, you imagine.
It's also only sensible that the club brief that. They're not going to go, oh yeah, we'd probably take 5 million, to be honest, at this stage. Just want rid of the little bastard.
Well, I think we're focusing on the wrong thing. We're talking about Christiansen having a good agent. Everton have good accountants if they're going to try and find 25 million quid from underneath the sofa or something. How are they putting that forward without bursting into laughter? Like how does that happen? They don't have any money. They're building this stadium. They got points deductions last season, and now all of a sudden they're able to come back to us again with a check saying, right, we've got 25 million here. I don't know how that works.
It does feel like, because they've just got a bit of money coming in, haven't they, from selling that midfielder whose name I can't remember, but they're getting 50 million quid for him. But it does feel a little bit like they've been skint. Payday's come around, they've gone straight out for a big steak dinner.
Yeah,
with like the 50 quid they've got in their account. There's like, still a long month ahead here, Everton. You need to just pace yourselves. But I mean, they've already got Harrison, haven't they?
They've won 100 quid on the premium bonds, but they've gone out for 150 quid steak dinner. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The talk of them last year was that they sort of said to them, you do know, like, you probably shouldn't be signing players there because you're going to break the rules. And they were like, yeah,
whatever,
be fine, won't it?
Yeah.
We'll just take the points. And it worked for them. So I suppose, well done.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody ponies up 30 million quid for Gnonto at this stage, you'd probably take it, wouldn't you? There's been acrimony there. To extend the relationships metaphor, it feels like there's been a little bit of wandering eyes. There's been a little bit of playing away from home. A bit of ghosting on the messages. What are they up to? Courting entertainment from elsewhere, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know what I'd accept for Gnonto anymore. Last year when they were bidding 20 million, it felt like a bit of a piss take. This summer, 20 million, I don't know. Depending on who else you can get in, I'd be half tempted to take it.
That's the crucial point. So as long as there is a plan to replace these players, because what we do not want to happen is at the start of the season, we have a bench full of under 21s and under 18s, because it'll just set everyone in the fan base running scared, thinking, oh, we're doing this again. All it needs is a couple of injuries and we are really lacking in depth. And if we are, like I said before, if we are off the pace by September, it's going to feel like a very, very long season. And it already is a long season stretching out ahead.
Well, yeah, we're into pre-season already. It was interesting hearing from Rob on Tuesday's show saying that some of the groups, I think was it the Pittsburgh Whites or the Philly Whites were getting together. They were arranging to get together for the Harrogate pre-season friendly, which I think feels like a lot of commitment because Michael's not even bothering. You're pissing off to Scotland to watch some golf.
Well, I could still watch it. It's on the evening, isn't it? I could watch it.
I think you should come back down for it.
Yeah, 5 hours, isn't it?
Just go back up.
That's a good idea,
yeah. Definitely. So that's on Friday. Have we gone to Germany yet? I don't know.
That's a secret, isn't it?
Yeah. Mind you, we had a secret game against Rangers on Tuesday. Do we know what the secret score was? Or was that a secret?
Well, I can't tell you.
But you know.
I'm under an NDA.
Right.
No, I'm not. It was children anyway, wasn't it? Let's not read too much into it.
We won 1-0, so we're not going to celebrate this.
Did we?
Yeah, we won 1-0.
I thought it was a secret.
Well, Rangers B team put it on their Twitter, so it can't be that big a secret.
Wow. Look at that. Revelation.
Yeah. Different rules in Scotland.
And Rangers are in Europe, right? So we're going up as fucking champions, clearly.
Sounds great. Valencia. Tickets have gone on sale for that. 15 quid adults, £10 concessions, £5 for the under 16s. Did you see the price? Oh, you tweeted it, wasn't it? The price of the under 16s at West Ham.
45 quid.
45 quid minimum. That's their opening day game against Villa, isn't it? I think,
yeah, to take like, I mean, it's expensive for an adult, I would say, but if you're trying to take like a 6-year-old along who's going to watch about 10 minutes of it and dick around on the phone.
Yeah.
Although actually I'm convincing myself you should just not take 6-year-olds if that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, it's if they're not fully invested in it from a very young age, it's a bit of a sell, isn't it? Because obviously you see loads of kids, like, you've been to games like around the family stand where there'll be a kid just troughing sweets, playing on a phone or whatever, reading the programme, just not watching. Because it's hard, isn't it, to get a kid to concentrate for that long?
Yeah, but 45 quid.
Yeah.
But no, £15.
45 quid to sit in an athletics stadium.
Go to instead a pre-season friendly against Valencia, and you can go for a £5.
Yeah. So you could take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 children for that same price.
Kyle Walker might pop along.
Indeed. All stands open for that one except the stand-upper. Let's get it sold out. Let's get the stand-upper open.
I'm not going for that either.
You're not?
I'm in Poland.
Right.
What can you do?
Bit lazy, aren't you?
What can you do? I will watch it. I did, from my holiday last year, I did pay to watch that god-awful Friendly with Hearts, which I regretted immediately. Sat watching it thinking, what am I doing? Could just be outside.
I was going to say I'm taking the piss out. I'm away that same week. We should say in 2 weeks' time, there'll be no shows that week. Some shows will be coming out, but we're going to record them ahead of time.
Yeah.
Put them out. But I'm away, you're away. Let's make Dean go away.
Okay.
For that week.
No, we can come in.
But Rob will be back. Let's make Rob come in and sit on his own. But yeah, so in a couple of weeks we'll have a week off, but you'll still get some shows. So just keep an eye on your feed for all that. Other stuff. Charlie Crew signed that new contract, didn't he? 4-year deal. We'll keep the Wales International at Ellen Road until the summer of 2028. That's what they said on the official website.
Well,
did they say similar when Archie Gray signed his new contract?
It may keep him.
We shall see. And they stuck Stuart Dallas in a Red Bull stunt plane, presumably because he was the only one they could get insurance for at this stage.
It had been a perfect job for Rasmus. First day back, up in the plane. And see, he only does straight lines though, doesn't he? Probably a lot too much zigzag for him in this.
And Harry Kewell has been fired from his job in Japan. Should we have a moment's silence for Harry, or should we just crack on?
We'll just crack on.
Such a shame for him.
Yeah.
Without wanting to ever say a good word about Harry Kewell, there's a bit of me quite admires his attempt to be a manager, because he basically just has gone around place to place being absolutely shit and getting sacked. Like, looking at his record now, he's been sacked from Crawley, Notts County, Oldham, Barnet, and now Yokohama, which is frankly too glamorous for him. I think his last job in Barnet would have been about right.
I just think it stinks that he doesn't want to be at home. So even though he keeps getting sacked and clearly isn't particularly good at it, he's thinking, I just want to be away.
Cherie is his wife, isn't it? Is she still on Loose Women, on the Loose Women panel? I generally don't watch it.
Do you know? Oh, I've got it on Series Link.
Right.
Yeah, it's really good. I like it.
Are you still ITV loyal?
I like listening to the uninformed opinions on like knife crime or something when they have one of those episodes. He used to always be on The Office when I was at ITV, and occasionally would look up and it'd be like just some people talk, like the Loose Women talking about street crime in London or something. You think, I don't think any of you are experts in this. Like, just by all means,
so
say some opinions.
You just sat there in a room talking bollocks about something you don't really know much about. We'd never do that.
I know plenty. Thank you. I've seen plenty anyway. Not taking much of it in.
Yeah, I'm not saying we've got long memories, but his continued failure, Harry Kewell's continued failure, it's balm for the soul for me. After he did us dirty. It
makes me hopeful as well that he's in some way skint, so he needs to keep working. Which, given he took the Liverpool money, the Liverpool money from us, and then the Galatasaray money later in his career, I kind of like to think he may have wasted it all.
Spent it all on like a motorbike or whatever.
Just bad investments,
right?
Is what I hope. Not that I've thought this through.
He invested it in Blockbuster.
Yeah. His Kodak shares, his Blockbuster shares, his Woolworths shares.
Yeah.
all gone to nothing.
All gone. What a shame. We'll watch his next career moves very keenly. And where do you think his next career moves will be?
Conference, north or south, Boreham Wood, maybe somewhere like that. Gateshead. Just a team that's like maybe got a few quid.
And he'll talk like he's doing him a favour.
And they'll be like, he was played Premier League. It might be worth giving him a go. It'd be like someone else will be in the room going, yeah, but look at his record. They'll go, we'll give him a go. Sacked by October. Lovely. Try again.
Great stuff. Well, we'll wrap it up there then this time, and we will be back. It'll be next week, won't it? Because you're buggering off to Scotland.
Stop making out I'm being lazy.
I'm not saying you're being lazy. I'm just telling the truth.
All right, fine.
You are going to Scotland, aren't you?
I am, yeah.
Yeah.
Humanitarian work.
Right. Okay. Do you know where my kids are going? School trip. Flamingo Land, end of term.
Oh, nice.
It's exciting, isn't it? Have you been to Flamingo Land lately?
I went last summer.
Yeah.
It was all right.
How were the flamingos?
I can't even remember the flamingos. It's bad, isn't it? There must have been some.
A star attraction.
They're not, though, are they? There's giraffes there. There's a sea lion show. There are much better animals than flamingos. I'm sorry.
That was a free read for Flamingo Land.
I was going to say, are we sponsored?
We're not yet, but guys, if you want to.
Wild animals and even wilder rides.
Right, we'll see you next time.
The Square Ball Podcast.